Welcome back. I'm Jim Sciutto in northern Israel. Israeli forces are on the ground in Gaza now, says the IDF. That means infantry, armor, engineering units. This follows a devastating air campaign yesterday. Yesterday as well, Jordan sponsored a resolution before the United Nations calling for an immediate truce in Gaza. That resolution, though non-binding, was adopted. The U.S. voted against it. I'm joined now by the Jordanian Foreign Minister, Ayman Safadi from Amman. Minister, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, sir.
You said prior to these ground operations today that an Israeli ground offensive there would be a human catastrophe. Now that operations have begun, I wonder, what is your reaction?
Thank you, Jim. I said actually after the operation started last night, after I saw it being played out on your screen, that this is just going to bring a humanitarian catastrophe of epic proportions. We all stand by that because we know, as in your words, devastating air campaign yesterday, a ground war is just going to make it impossible. The number of deaths, the number of casualties, it's just going to sink us deeper into this abyss. And then what? Another war to be added to the many wars we've had in the region. That saved no one. Our position, sir, is we need to stop this war. We need to go back to a peace path that will save Palestinian, Israeli, and other lives.
When you have expressed that position both in public and privately to U.S. diplomats, have they listened to your opposition to this military campaign? What's been their response?
Look, we're in constant contact with the U.S. As you know, we're allies and we're friends, and we're in continuous discussion. They have their views, we have our views, but I think by the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want peace, we want an end of death, an end of suffering, an end of killing. How we get there is something that we're all discussing. Our position is very clear. This war will not get us there. Jim, imagine the amount of dehumanization that is happening. Imagine the amount of hatred that's coming out of this misery that we see unfolding in Gaza. That is not going to bring peace or security to the Israelis or to the Palestinians or to any of us in the region. So I think on the broader objective, I think people will have to be insane not to support what we're saying, which is let's go for peace, let's save lives. More killing is not going to help anybody, and this is a conversation that we're having with all our friends and partners in the region and beyond, and this is where I hope all our efforts will converge.
Jordan, of course, yourself included, quickly condemned the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israel, and Jordan itself has been the victim of horrible terror attacks by ISIS and other groups. I wonder, what would you see as an acceptable military response from Israel to the October 7th attacks?
Sir, we condemn, obviously, the killing of Israeli civilians on October 7. We condemn the killing of Palestinian innocents since then. We see that we should not be squeezed between two pains. We realize the pain that is there, but if we continue to operate within this space, we're just going to cause more pain for more people. How many lives are going to have to die before we say this is not the path that we need to do? Those that are lost on both sides are lost. There's nothing we can do to bring them back. But we can save lives. We can stop others being killed. And this is really what our message. Every life matters. Muslim life, Jewish life, Christian life. That is where we stand. And we just don't see that this war is going to bring security to anybody. It's not going to as I said, bring back those who are gone. Our focus should be, we should allow sanity back and say, how do we all work together to stop this tragedy from happening ever again, to save Palestinian lives, Israeli lives. And again, if I may invoke what His Majesty said on the Cairo Peace Summit last week, our Muslim values, 1,000 years before Geneva, soldiers were told, do not kill a child, do not kill a woman, do not kill the elderly, do not even cut a tree. That is our call to everybody. And we believe that going in that direction, recognizing the humanity of the other, refusing this perpetual hell that's being brought on Gaza, that is the path we want, so that we all come back and say, how do we make sure that this never happens again? How do we make sure that no Palestinians, no Israelis suffer again?
President Biden, when he addressed the nation and the world following these attacks, in addition to condemning the October 7th attacks and expressing support for Israel and its right to self-defense, he also, like you, said there needs to be a broader discussion about a longer-term solution here, including a two-state solution to the Israel problem, the Israel-Palestine problem. And I wonder, do you consider that a credible pledge from the U.S. president?
The U.S. president has many times before spoke of the need to end this conflict in a peaceful agreement. We believe that this is as sad as tragic, what we're seeing now. Again, we cannot continue down this path. At some point, the guns will have to go silent. The question is, how many innocent Palestinian lives will have to fall until we get to that point? How many Israeli innocent lives will have to fall? But we have to get to that minute. And once we get there, the U.S. leadership is key to all our efforts to bring about a peaceful solution, whose only path is the two-state solution, as His Majesty the King said, peace and two states between the River Jordan and the sea.
Is that goal achievable with Hamas still in power in Gaza? As part of that solution, does Hamas need to go as well?
Sir, what the Palestinian people want, the majority of what the Palestinian people want, the majority, I believe, of what the Israeli people want is peace, is to live without having to wake up every morning to the fear of having their kids lost to a bullet or to any other of the abominable violence that we see. That hope of freedom for Palestinians, and again, putting things in context, is not in any way justifying the killing of the innocent. Let me make that clear, because it seems now that anybody speaks this language is being dehumanized somehow. We saw Guterres, we say Joseph Borrell, we saw others. What I'm trying to say, Palestinian people, Israeli people want to live in peace. They are human beings like all of us. We need to convince people that what is standing between them and that future of peace and dignity is violence, is the war that we're seeing played out. So I believe that is what's missing here, and that's what we're trying to see. An idea can only be fought by an idea. Violence as an ideology, violence as means to achieving objectives is not viable. We all know that, but we need to convince Palestinians that you have a future to look, and whoever is standing in the way will be by them pushed away from that path.
Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi, thanks so much for taking the time this morning.
Thank you.
An impassioned plea there for a truce in Gaza. Victor and Amara, back to you.
Jim, thanks, and thank you for joining us this morning.